everyone. Welcome to today's session. Welcome to the 10Alytics masterclass. This session, I promise you're going to have a very, very insightful session. My name is Indamola. I am a data associate here at 10Alytics. And honestly, it's such a pleasure to have everyone here. Welcome, 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 welcome. And I am so pleased to have you all here. All right, so now if you can hear me, you can see me, you're here, your full attention is here, you're ready for this session. I want you to type in the chat box, just type 1. If you're here, your attention is here, you're ready for this session, just type 1 and let's see the people that we have here. Okay, great, great, great. Welcome Rex, welcome Olayemi, welcome Adeola, welcome Chiwendu, welcome Priscilla, welcome everyone. So as a quick check-in, right? I want us to just type hi, what you'd like to be addressed as us. Hi, my name is Oyindamola, joining from Manchester. Hi, my name is Oyindamola, joining from Ghana. So just type it. Let's see where you're joining in from. I want to know if I'm greeting some people Akwaba. I'm saying welcome. So welcome everyone. Just hi Chiwedu from UK, Ejobe. Okay, from Ipswich. Okay, welcome. Just want to say this is such an amazing session. Okay, welcome from UK, Rex from Toronto. Welcome everyone. Okay, Adewale from Ireland. This is a global space. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Adela from England. I'm so happy to have us all here. Hi, Mariam from UK. Welcome everyone. So it's such a pleasure to have everyone here, and I'm glad that everyone is ready. Hi, Gladys from Ireland as well. So I'm so happy, and I'm glad I'm going to have everyone here. So we're just going to do a quick project showcase, right, of people that have trained with us, right, in the last couple of months and what they are doing right now, right? I know you want to see, it's better that like we're talk and we're show and tell. We're going to tell you the people that have done these things, the people that have like gotten that's come here this far. While we are at that, my colleague in the chat box is sharing a particular link. So there's going to be a lot of documents, a lot of slides, a lot of information and materials coming out from this session. If you want access to that, as well as the recording to this session, please fill the form in the chat box. So that's for once you fill the form, you're going to have access to the recording, the materials used in this session. Please don't forget to do that. You can do that right about now. So we have 3 people here with us that are going to be showcasing their project. So we have Adeola Fatoki from the Data Analytics program. We have Michael Isikima from the Data Engineering program, and we have Abdiganiyu Adegbidi from the Business Analytics program, right? So these people are from various programs, and we're here to see what they've done. Like I said, my name is Oyindamola, and yeah, we're about to have a fantastic session. Remember, you can always drop your questions in the chat box. If you have any questions, someone is going to get to them, and I'm also going to see them as well, so that our session goes smoothly. Okay, all right. So moving on. Hi, Michael. Are you here with us? Hi, Adiola. Are you here with us? If you're here with us, just turn on your camera and say a quick hello, hello, hello. Hi, Adiola. Hi, Michael. I'm so happy you guys are here to join us. All right, so we're going to begin with Michael. So Michael is joining from the data engineering program. He joined the program in June. That's a couple of months ago, really, like 3 months ago. And he's going to be showing us a project he has worked on so far. But before Michael goes on, let me just do a quick introductions of the movers and shakers, as I like to call them, right? So this is first of all 10Alytics, like I said, wow, one of the leading platforms in the world. And I'm not saying this because I'm a staff of 10Alytics. I'm saying this because, well, our results speak for themselves. So if you joined a couple of minutes earlier, you can hear people talking about their experience, how they got a job with analytics, and that's what we do. While we are very focused on you gaining the skills, we're also focused on you getting the job with those skills, right? We have over 4 years experience building talent across the globe, not just in the UK, not just in the US, not just even in Africa, across the globe, Asia and Europe and other countries like that. And we have helped over 2,855 people, that's close to 3,000 in 4 years, to transition from just zero, zero knowledge about tech into getting jobs in tech. That is phenomenal. And we train people in data analytics, business analysis, HR analysis, data engineering, data science, financial analytics, HR analytics, agile project management, cybersecurity, and very soon AI engineering. And we have top facilitators from global companies. We are not bringing people that just probably learned 1 minute and are teaching the next minute. No, we're bringing people that have experience in global companies, McKinsey, Amazon, Microsoft, and they have world like a whole world of experience to bring to you, right? So, and I'm very, very sure that from the presentation we're going to have here, and from testimonies from people that you're even going to be hearing, seeing, and listening to, you're going to be sure that we're not just saying things, like we're not just saying things just because we can. All right. So my name is Oyin Damola, like I said. I have a huge background, almost half a decade experience in data analytics, education, and marketing. And while I'm very great at analyzing data, I am also better at teaching others how to do that, right? And currently, I'm a program coordinator and the data associate in charge of the data engineering program here at 10Alytics. And I am so passionate about moving people from what is tech to getting people jobs, getting people able to even speak about it, become professionals in tech. And that's one thing I am so passionate about. All right. Up next, we have Priscilla, who you're going to meet somewhere in the program. Hi, Priscilla. Just say hi if you're here with us. Okay, Priscilla is such a passionate educator. She's a data expert and a career strategist. Hi, Priscilla. Okay, Priscilla is here with us. She has close to half a decade years of experience as well in world of blockchain technology and data analytics. She's also a growth catalyst here at Analytics. She's very helpful in helping people realize which way in tech, right? She has worked as a freelance data analyst, as a crypto educator, as a tech support personnel, and as a tech career coach, right? And she's doing that here at Analytics. She's helping people change their lives, just turn their lives around. And she has helped and onboarded over 500 people, right? That's such an amazing, you have such an amazing lineup of people here, I promise you. So right? So why are we here, right? You are wondering, what are we even doing here? We're here to show you what people have done. Because what? It's not just we're talking. It's easy to talk. I like talking a lot, but we are also here to tell people, okay, this is what we've done so far. And if you're interested in gaining from that, hop on the train, right? And in-demand tech skills. Priscilla is going to come up here and give you the numbers of there are certain roles that are not going to exist in a couple of years. You see, all these skills we are teaching you, they are going to exist and they are the future. Okay, so now we're going to have the project showcase. Hi, Michael, are you ready to share your screen? You can unmute your mic and speak and just walk us through your project.
Okay. Hi, everyone. As earlier introduced, my name is Michael, and it's an opportunity and a privilege to be here today to showcase what I've done, tutoring, learning from 10Alytics in the past couple of months. So I'm going to share my screen and share a quick slide and just to give us a roadmap of what I'll be doing today. So I'm going to share my screen. So if you can see my screen, just give me a thumbs up, maybe.
Yes, I can. But I'm yet to see your slides. Your screen is already showing.
Okay.
So
So can you
just,
see my
yeah.
slides now?
Yes, please. If you can put it in presentation mode. Yes, amazing. Thank you. Yes, we can.
All right. So good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're watching from. So I'm just going to be taking us through a little slide today of my journey and me trying to become a data engineer with 10Alytics. So yeah, my background, as earlier stated, my name is Michael, and I love anything. When I hear the word data, I become happy for some reason. And I started off my career as a data officer, which is just me collecting data and putting them into Excel. I joined 10Alytics because, funny enough, it was a journey of fate for me joining 10Alytics. 10Alytics. I still confuse myself with that. And I did a quick search on Google, and I was like, what company can I join if I wanted to learn data engineering? And 10Alytics popped up. I did a quick research, went to Trustpilot, I believe, checked their rating, and it was good testimonies. So I joined, and wow, I'm sure the project will speak for itself because it's been an amazing journey for me so far. One thing that stood out for me when it comes to 10Alytics was the approach, which was um, unusual in a good kind of way. And I say that because of what they call the LMS, which is the Learning Management System. So it's like they prepare you before a class. So you have the opportunity to go through certain videos relating to topics that you might be dealing with, say, on a particular weekend or when classes are scheduled. So you go through the topic, you can do your research, you can make your notes, study, come up with all the questions that you have so that when you are in that live class, it becomes easy, so you can follow up the live class. So it's not like they are hitting you once with say for example Python. If you've never heard of the word Python, you have no clue what Python is talking about. They give you an opportunity via the LMS to learn, study, make your mistakes, do whatever it is you want to do. So when you come to the live class, it's no longer strange. It's what they'll be saying during the live class is things you've heard before, and you have the opportunity to ask your questions and learn better. And like I said, that practical hands-on learning approach, it stands out for me. It really, really stands out for me because you can follow through what's being taught in the LMS, and it's honestly beautiful. I also like the supportive community guidance. I have my classmates who are, we're always talking, chatting, trying to find out what is new in tech, making mistakes, learning from each other. And, if you're into tech, you know that you need that community to make yourself better. Before starting this course, I had defined expectations. One was to make sure that I understand data engineering principles. That was non-negotiable for me. I want to be able to leave this program. And when I speak data engineering, people should know I know what I'm talking about. I started in June, July, August, and right now I'm already speaking data engineering. Surprised at myself, but that's how well the program is structured. The hands-on experience, with the data engineering tools. Recently, I just concluded a project which I'll be showcasing. So that hands-on experience not just builds my confidence, but it it goes as far as also integrating the knowledge that I'm learning to be rooted deep into me, so that you wake me up from sleep tomorrow and we can discuss data engineering. Yeah, the project I built was a real world project. So it showcases the skills that I'm learning, in 10Alytics. So yeah, what I did was I actually built my first ETL pipeline. For persons who will be hearing the word ETL for the first time, it simply means to extract data from a particular source. It could be from a CSV file, it could be from another database, it could be from an API. You can extract data from the web and then transform it using Python or the Python library called Pandas, where you carry out data transformation. When we talk of transforming data, we are basically talking of how we clean the data, filter the data, structure the data, so that it can be loaded into a specific destination. Most of the times, a database, data warehouse, what have you. And doing all of this, I also got the opportunity to learn a particular tool that I've always been craving to learn in depth, which is Git and GitHub. I had been using GitHub before, but I mean, when I watched the LMS video on Git and GitHub, I was just laughing because certain questions that I didn't have answers to, certain concerns that I heard, it was just being answered. And I'm really, really excited about that. This project matters and important to me because after I finished this project, I remembered when I was working as a data officer, if I knew then what I know now, I would have been having a seamless day at work, because some of the struggles that I used to have then, doing this project, I just was having answers, and I'm like, oh, I could have done this, I could have implemented that, I could have, I could have done this better. And that's why this project really was really close to my heart. And it also helped me to demonstrate practical job ready skills. So if I'm talking to an employer, I actually had a message from LinkedIn yesterday from an employer who wanted to speak to me about data engineering. And from the conversation we had, we were really excited. I had to send him the CV that, thanks to 10Alytics, they had helped me, modified, transformed, and fingers crossed, I'm hoping for a positive response. So yeah, this project as well was one I was able to discuss with the person I spoke with. And from the discussion of the project, he could tell I knew what I was talking about. So for me, the journey with 10Alytics continues. And yeah, this is my contact info on LinkedIn and the GitHub repo to the project I will be showcasing. So if you want to reach out to me, ask any questions about 10Alytics. If I have the answers, I will tell you about it. If I don't, I sure know who to direct you to give you the answers that you're looking for. So right now, I'm just going to jump into the project and give us and just basically show us what I've been doing in terms of getting my hands dirty on a project. So this is my VS Code, Visual Studio Code. It's just an IDE, an integrated development environment, where you write codes, debug codes, try codes, and all of that. So I'm going to go to the README. So it gives us a brief description of what this project was about. So, like I said, this project just simply talks about extracting data from a data source. In this case, that data source is a CSV file. I'm going to be transforming that data using Python pandas. So in transforming the data, I will be dealing with things such as removing duplicates from the data set, handling missing or null values, converting data types, and ensuring that the data is consistent, so there won't be any noise in the data. And when I'm loading it into the database, which is a Postgres database in this case, it just works seamlessly. And then like I mentioned, I'll be using Git and GitHub for version control. So others who want to collaborate on this project can collaborate. People who want to see what I've been up to can also have the opportunity to see that. So we have a data set. All right, that data set is the raw data set. So let's say, for example, you carry out a survey and people answer certain questions, and then on maybe you want to know who Nigeria might vote in the next election, or if you're from Ghana, you want to know the performance of, you collect that data set. That data set will be in its raw form. All right. So when that data set is in its raw form, you're going to have things such as duplicates, for example. You're going to have things such as missing values, for example. Data doesn't usually come clean. I'm yet to see a data that comes clean and is ready to be used. No. There'll be noise in the data. There will be missing values. There'll be inconsistency in that data. So that is what you will usually get. Now, you want to transform that data, all right? You have that data. You want to transform that data. You want to clean that data. You want to make it easy so that the data analyst can use it to create visualization. You want to make it good. You want to make that data neat so that the data scientists can use it for their prediction model. So that basically anybody who wants to use that data, it's easy for them to use it. So in doing that, there's a specific library in Python called pandas. And that's where, like I like to say, that's where the magic of cleaning, of transforming data starts. So if I share my pandas, my Python notebook, rather, where we have that. Okay. So this is what you call a Python notebook. And this is where you write your codes. This is where you start to get your hands dirty. So first of all, we're going to be importing the libraries that we'll be needing. Like I said, pandas is going to be used for data cleaning. And then scopg2 is a library that helps you connect Python to PostgreSQL, to be specific, because every database management system have got their own drivers. But for PostgreSQL, we're going to be using scopg2 so that we can be able to connect our Python to the PostgreSQL to push our data into that database. But we'll get there. So basically, these are the two libraries that I will be using that I used for this project. So raw data and raw data import and cleaning. I want to clean this data, like I said. I want to make it noiseless. I want to make it consistent. I want to remove duplicates. And that's what we basically mean when we say we are trying to clean up a data. So we're going to be reading that data. Remember that this data here is in a CSV file. It's in a CSV file here. So we want to import that CSV file. Simply mean we want to carry that CSV file that contains the data set into the Python notebook so that we can, clean the data. So this is the code that we'll be using, pd.read CSV, and then we do this. We copy the path where this file is. We copy the path where this file is. And when I say copy the path, I mean if it's in your desktop folder, in that desktop folder, you just copy the path and then you paste it here. You paste it here. Now, when you paste it here and you run it, you run it, and then you assign it into a variable. So all of these are things that you're basically going to be learning, because now I'm just saying all of this, but 10Alytics took their time to, teach you Python as though you've never heard of the word Python before. So you'll be learning things such as variables, you'll be learning things such as lists, tuples, dictionaries. They will teach you the basics. So when you see things like this, they don't become discouraging for you and you're like, oh, how do I get to it? The basics are there. And that's one thing I loved about 10Alytics. I'm loving about them is the fact that you're grounded in the basics so that at the end of the day, whenever you see a code, you can be able to read it, interpret it, and be confident in yourself. So I'm going to assign, because all of this is long, pd.read CSV, it's long. I can't keep calling this every time. So I'm going to assign it into a variable called df, which is short form for data frame. And it's universally accepted. Most people who work with pandas will often use df. So it's not just in this project. You can see it in another project. So if we assign it to this variable called df and we run it, we have basically imported that file from Excel into Python. Now, this is the file. This is the raw file. This is, if you open this file in Excel, this is exactly what you're going to see. So for example, you're seeing categories, dairy, beverages, produce, this, you're just seeing the file. That's all it is right now. So if I want to see the first 5 rows of this data frame, this is the code for seeing the first 5 rows. This dot head is called method. Okay, this dot head is called a method of the pandas libraries. What that simply means is if you go into your room, for example, and you want to lie on the bed, you can say dot bed. That means lie on the bed. So for in this case, I'm going to say dot head. And what that simply means is I want to see the first 5 rows of my data frame. So it's going to show you the first 5 rows, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So in Python, it usually doesn't start from 1, it starts from 0. So we can say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is the first 5 rows. So if you count it, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're seeing the first 5 rows. If I want to see the last 10 rows, is going to be dot tail. Okay, so it's just like saying if I want to sit in a chair in my room, I'm going to do dot chair. So now I'm doing dot tail because I want to see the last 10 rows. So I'm putting 10 inside the bracket. So this is what you're going to be seeing, the last 10 rows of the data set. And this is one of. Did you
Well
say?
done, Michael. So can you quickly help us wrap this up? Okay. Well
Oh,
done.
okay.
This is like such an amazing um project. Sorry
Okay,
to
so
interrupt you.
no, it's okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to just run through it. So basically, this is a bunch of code. Yeah, it's a bunch of code to use and clean that data. So after cleaning the data, I also did what is called data modeling. And data modeling is simply talking about how that data is going to be arranged, organized, and managed in the database. So you're going to be using a tool called draw.io to handle that. And then uh yeah, I'm trying to wrap this up now. So I'm also going to use Git and GitHub for version control. So what that simply means is you can work on a project and push it to your GitHub account where other people can see it as well. So this is what a Postgres database, a Postgres SQL deep database management system looks like. So after pushing the data into this database now, this freshman database, we can then query it. You're also going to be learning SQL tools and querying and a lot of concepts, lots and lots and lots of concepts. So after successfully pushing that data into this freshman database, I can now query it. So if I want to retrieve all the product where category is dairy, I can just simply run this query and then boom, I have what I have here. And there are a lot of queries that you can run as well. If you want to see this project, understand it, the link to my GitHub repo for this project is there. You can download it, take a look at it, and yeah, that's what I've been up to. Thank you very much.
Wow. Well done. Well done, Michael. As someone that is in the data engineering program as a data associate, I myself am very proud. Okay, well done. So a couple of questions that I want to ask you. So basically, you've gone to bring data and put it so that other data people can use it. You've gone to extract data from, right? And I want to
Yeah.
ask, were you before you joined analytics, were you writing any codes, SQL, Python?
I had basic understanding of what they were, but with 10 Analytics, I've been able to. For me, I like building projects so that I can be able to say, "Oh, I understand this better." Because learning concepts and not using it is not going to make you. I don't know how to put it, but with 10 Analytics, I've been able to. I mean, this project makes me really happy, to be honest. And yeah, 10 Analytics have helped me to come up with a project that I can share with people and strengthen my SQL and Python skills.
I am happy. Analytics is happy, and start applying for jobs. That's what I'll just say. Start applying. Most of the like jobs you need, you already have the skills, right? So you are three
Yeah.
months in now. just start applying. That's what I would say. Just start it, because there's nothing you're
Okay.
waiting for. All right, well done. This is such um amazing project. Please, if you have any questions, you can drop it in the chat box. We're going to take it during the question and answer session. All right, thank you so much, Michael. Thank you for being here. We are also happy and so proud of you. All right. Okay, up next we have Abdugani. Hi, Abdugani from Business Analysis. If you're here, just say hi.
Hello, good evening. Can you hear me?
Good evening. Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the session. We're
Great.
also happy to have you here. All right, so the floor is yours. You have 10 minutes. I mean, if you can, 10 minutes, please. And yeah,
T-
all right.
10
So,
minutes,
floor is
10 minutes
yours.
is a lot of time.
Really? Okay,
Okay.
let's see. Let's see.
Let me know if you can see my screen.
I think it's coming up. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so yeah.
Okay. All right, please confirm what you can see.
Yes, I can see your face, your introduction
All
to your
right.
profile.
Thank you so much. Hello, good evening, everyone, from anywhere and everywhere you're joining us from. Good morning, good evening, good day. My name is Babatunde Abdulgani Adignidi. So what I'm going to do in this 10 minutes or less is just to show you what I've been able to do within the period I've joined 10Alytics. And I must say that Michael has done quite a good job by helping me with some of the things I was going to explain, especially in the area of ETL, extract, transform, and load. But briefly, who am I? Now, I'm saying this so that you understand what it is when you are describing yourself or introducing yourself. If presently I'm a teacher, I would not tell you I am a teacher. I will tell you who I aim to be. And so this description or this meeting is telling you about my data analyst person or my data analyst side. I've got experience in aviation, entertainment, all of that. Not data, not business analysis. It has to do with marketing, business development, Islamic finance, entertainment, and all of that. But I'll be able to bring some of the transferable skills into this one. So if you take your time and read this, that's who I am in terms of business analysis. Now, when I started business analysis, there's some tools you have to learn. Basic Excel to analyze and visualize, Power BI, Power Query, SQL. I've heard about SQL long time before I joined 10Alytics, but I didn't understand it until I joined 10Alytics. I didn't understand that if you understand English, then you can understand SQL. Let me just put it that way. When you get in, if you want to dive deep like Michael has done as a data engineer, then you need to go deeper. But as a business analyst, you just need to understand what it is, how it is used, and how you can use it. So here, I learned how to extract, transform, and load, extract data from a particular database, clean it up. That's transforming it, ensuring that what is supposed to be here is here. If it's new, if it's a number, it is a number. You're not mixing number and alphabet together. Clean it up, then load it into where you want to use it. In this case, I loaded it into the Power BI platform to create a dashboard. And then what was the process flow? First of all, you have to understand the project. You can't jump into a project that you do not understand. So you have to understand, as a business analyst, you need to ask questions, observe. It's not just going somewhere. Just like when you buy hen, if you are very familiar with chicken, when you buy a hen, when you drop it, it doesn't stand with its two legs. It stands with one leg first. What is he doing? He's observing. He's trying to understand. Where am I? Is he safe? When he feels he's safe, then will now drop the second leg, even though he doesn't know it will end in the pot the next day. But you have to first understand the project. Then, after you have understood, you collect data and prepare. That's where you do your ETL, clean, transform. Then you now explore. In this particular project, we explored with SQL. You can also use Excel. Explore, analyze, then generate your insights, and then the final part here is to what? Sorry, let me put this down. Okay, the final part here is to now make recommendation, because now you understand what you're doing, you have analyzed it, then you can recommend to the people you are working for. So this is an example of one of the dashboard I built, and I kid you not, all these that you see were data, numbers, and alphabet that was jam-packed somewhere. I had to clean up, extracted, transform it, loaded it into the Power BI using the Power Query, transformed it, and then I developed this beautiful dashboard. Apart from that, there's something we called when you finish building the dashboard, it's not just giving them dashboard. What does it mean? What are you able to draw from it? And that's where you see the insight and recommendation. In this particular dashboard, we can see that there was high order volume, over 1 million. We see there is low profit. We see that they have their top selling product here, and here. Based on this, and based on the problem they have told you exist, what do you recommend? You recommend optimizing fulfillment, recommend review of cost structure, recommend promoting these items that are your top selling so that you can, cash in on them. So as a business analyst, you are always thinking. Your thinking cap is always on. When you analyze, you are looking at it. What does this mean? And what can it mean for your clients? Now, this is an extract of me writing SQL for that particular project. SQL, like I said, if you understand English, it says select asterisk. Asterisk in SQL means everything, all. So select all from where? Orders. So for example, if I say select all the female from what? From this 10Alytics presentation. That's SQL you have done. You have written that line of code. And what it does is you go in, look at all the women in this call and bring their name out. That's SQL for you. So this some code I wrote in Excel. This is an example when I was working with the Power Query to extract and transform. That beautiful dashboard that you saw came from all of this. You can see their product item, aisle ID, department ID, So cleaning, transforming to ensure that it comes out the way you want, and then you load it into where you want. Again, this is another dashboard, but this one I built with Excel. So the first one that you saw was with Power BI, but this one I built with Excel. I tell you for free, business analysis is interesting. It is very interesting. And it cuts across some of the tools you learn in data analysis as well. As you go on, you'll be amazed. Before I joined analysis, I couldn't have done this. I tell you, I kid you not, I couldn't have done this. But I did this myself, as in no one helped me. I did it myself. This is another dashboard I created for Hospitality Group. And then I want to go a bit into, apart from creating the tools, Power BI, Excel, SQL, now you need to go into business analysis. And what's business analysis? You are just a bridge builder, getting people from where they are to where they want to be. The shortest line between 2 points, the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. So as a business analyst, you are in the point A, but you want to take them to point B. You are the guide, you are the bridge. That's what the business analyst is. And 3 major areas. First of all, you need to understand how to get started using the BASIM model. BASIM model is the business analysis core concept model. You learn how to create a business case. Then you go to critical thinking and problem solving. Here we learn gap analysis. We learn how to process model. We learn how to optimize via process mapping and using different tools like Visual Paradigm, Lucid Chart, Draw.io. Then we go over to the stakeholders analysis. For every business, there are people involved. Everyone involved in the business, anyone and everyone involved, they are your stakeholders. So, but you need to know them. You need to know them, you need to understand them. So knowing them is where I said stakeholders and needs identification. Then you need to understand them. How do you communicate with them? What time does this person like to be spoken with? How does this person like to be communicated with? Is it email or WhatsApp? You need to understand all of this. Then you need to know who has power. Who has power? Are you talking to that person that would like to speak to you but cannot influence anything? Or you are speaking to the man at the top that can make things happen? He doesn't talk much, but he's the one that makes things happen. So that's where you have your power and interest grid. Then you have your RACI matrix, where you look who is responsible, who is accountable, who should be informed, and who should be consulted. Then your communication plan, how do you discuss? Then your requirement elicitation. Requirement elicitation is just, you have a problem, but you want to know how to solve it. What is happening presently? You need to talk to people to know what is happening. That information you are getting from them, extracting from them, that is you eliciting requirements. So this is just to take you through what the business analyst core concept model is. It consists of 6 areas. You need to understand the need. What change are you bringing in what context, what solutions, and who are the stakeholders? Then finally, which is very important, what value will come from all of this? This is a breakdown on one of the projects we worked on. We looked at the need. The need was to correct critical problems, revamp current patient appointment system, and we look at other needs. So in business analysis, most times you have one major need, then it will give birth to a lot of other needs, and that's why you have this major need gave birth to all these other ones. Then we look at the change. What is the change you are looking for? What is the context? This context is a healthcare industry. We are looking at the budget and the resourcing constraints, and we are going to also look at data compliance. What change are we looking at? We want to bring in a new system that can automate and lead to changes that will transition from the manual to the automated process. Again, who are the stakeholders in this project? Like I said, everybody and anybody that is involved. Of course, is a health-related project. So patients, they are stakeholders. The CMD, your stakeholders. Head of IT, stakeholders. Admin staff, stakeholders. Gatekeeper, everybody that is involved in that project is a stakeholder. This is an example of power and interest quadrants. And like I said before, you see here it says keep satisfied, and below it says level of influence and level of interest. Your regulators, you have to understand which quadrant do you put them. You have the first quadrant are those people that their influence is high, but their level of interest is low. Who are those you should put there? Those are people that you should keep satisfied. Know them and put them there. The second quadrant, the interest is high, the level of interest is also high. So those ones are your key people that you need to look at. The third quadrant, the interest is low, the level of interest is low. Those ones, just make sure they are informed, but you don't need to do too much work on them. So this helps you to know what and where to put your power. This is a RACI matrix. RACI matrix, like I said before, tells you who are those responsible, who are those accountable, who are those who should consult, and who should you inform. If you look at the first role, it says the task and the stakeholder. We mentioned the name of the task there, and the stakeholder there is the business analyst. And you see R is there, means that person is responsible for what? Defining objective and scope of project. If you go to the last one, stakeholder 10, you have investor and shareholders. At the last column, you see I, task 7, testing is I. I means just keep that person informed. You don't need to do too much work. So this is just to show you who you should do what with, and it helps you to make your work easier. Then what solution are you bringing on board, and what value does it give you? If the solution here is we are bringing an effective and efficient user-friendly online booking system, this is still for the health related project. We are bringing client survey feedback. What value will it bring? Improve patient satisfaction, efficient operation, and scalable growth. After doing that, this is to show you what is called a process map. So presently, I work as a customer service in a firm, but because I've been learning about all of this thing, like Michael said, if you don't do what you have learned, if you don't practice it, you can't learn it very well. So nobody sent me a message. I just took my knowledge of process mapping. I went into my company. I said, this company, I want to look at their present process. What does it look like? And I mapped this myself. This is the current process. And here I use visual paradigm. So in 10Alytics, they will teach you majorly, I think, draw.io, Visio, but I went out of my way to learn visual paradigm because the concept is the same. So I learned visual paradigm, and I also learned, this another one as is. Here I use draw.io. I use draw.io for this one. And here, this is to be. I also use draw.io. So on my own, I have learned visual, I've read draw.io, I've learned Visio, and I've learned Lucid Charts. But two of them, 10Alytics taught me, and the two others I learned myself because the concept is the same. So now I know 4 different tools to do the same thing. So whichever tool you're using in your organization, I can fit in. So this is just to show you, this is for an IT ed tech. This first one was for a recycling company. And after doing all of that, what is the coco.com? The summary is that this is what you want to do. What is the background? 90% of customer complaints are not resolved satisfactorily in these areas that I've mapped. And what is the objective? We want to return customer trust and integrity, and we want to reduce process steps. They are all written there. So again, the as is using draw.io. This is for the recycling firm. This is where we start. You see them getting involved in different tools in the beginning, signing into this one, that one, this one. And then I said, to be, what is the to be state? We want to change it. We want an API and handshake. API is application, the interchange of different applications, shaking their hands, sending information between a system and the other system so that things can be streamlined. Then the TAT process, that is the turnaround process to be improved. Then empathy and driver's responsibility. Then this is the desire state. Now, if you see this desire state here, it says that once you log into one of these systems, it goes into all the other ones. Unlike the first one, where you have to log into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 systems together. But what we are proposing is that log into just one system, and there's an handshake between that system and the other system. So your login is just one, and it automatically fits into the other one. And we reduce the process for that as well. Finally, here I've said be committed, don't be interested. I can tell you for free that if I was just interested, I would have left midway. There were times that I felt, what's going on? Can I do this? It's too tough. But if you remain committed, you will know why you came in the first place. You will know your motivation. You know what is pushing you, and you know that you need to get to the promised land before you say no. So at different times, I've wanted to drop out, but then I remember I have to be committed to this project and get to the end of it. And I can tell you that I'm a very, very, very better person than I started. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Abigail. I'm flabbergasted. That's the word. Because you showed us not one, not two, not three projects, and you joined the program in March. So,
yes, March.
And you were able to, all these skills that you're learning, you were able to use it in your organization. If you wanted to like transition roles in your organization, you simply can. So yeah, he felt like he was teaching. This is such an amazing presentation. I'm so happy. I want to ask questions, but I didn't even know the questions to ask. So okay, I do have questions though. So my question is, prior to this, right? And you said you could not do this like before you joined 10Alytics. Would you say, regardless of like your drive and all of that, how was your relationship with your facilitator and your even program coordinator? Because I know we have program coordinators checking in on people. How was that? Because I know sometimes you're just like, I don't want to come to class today. So how was that like with your program coordinators and those people that, I mean, people that got you here really?
I think my program coordinator is here, and he'll tell you for free. I know they let him rest though. I'm always on his neck. No. Because see, different things motivate different people. So for me, I felt that I really wanted to move into tech. I wanted to get better pay. I wanted a better life. I wanted financial independence. And if I have to do that, then I need to know this thing really well. There are some things I didn't even mention here. Fishbone, gap analysis. We also did that, but I didn't mention them yet. But so for my project coordinator, his name is Ubong. He's always coming here to ask, guys, how are you doing? There are times we will call him, say, Ubong, come for village meeting. This thing, we are not getting what we need. What's going on? We always drag him left, right, center. But like I said, the most important thing is you need to be committed, because hey, if you look at the different bus stops the conductor calls, you want to get down, but you don't get down until you get to your own bus stop. Sit down tight
Yeah.
and listen to only your own bus stop, and then you know when to get down. I hope that makes
All
sense.
right. That's so phenomenal. Thank you so much. Ubong, big shout out to you. Ubong is in the chat box. So big shout out to Ubong. And we're also just so happy because I'm just like, yeah, please, if you need recommendation or when you are applying, you need reference, come and meet us. Right? Come and meet us, please.
Let
If you
me
want to get
sorry, Oyidamola, let me quickly mention
yes,
that while in this training, I've had almost 5 job reference. No, I don't know what to call it, but let me quickly explain briefly. So I am a business analyst, but I've gotten people call me for QA interview. I've gotten people call me for financial analyst interview. I've gotten people call me for business analyst interview. And you know the funny thing, some of these people, because they also teach us, I didn't mention this, how to optimize your LinkedIn page. Now I have a 180-day program I'm doing on my LinkedIn page where I post something every day based on the things I'm learning daily. And from there, people are engaging. I have an interview I've just gotten with another firm that got me from LinkedIn. And I just finished one with another firm that also got me from LinkedIn. But before now, my LinkedIn was just there. So commitment is the word. If you're interested, you will not go anywhere. Be committed to it.
Wow.
Thank you.
At this point, I'll bring my 10Alytics clothes everywhere. I'll have like a 10Alytics headband so that anybody, if you are interested in being recognized internationally, I think you should just register. I don't think we should do any long talk again from what we've seen. Well done, well done. We're so happy from this, and I'm so happy like from the referees to the LinkedIn, people reaching out on LinkedIn. Please, all these things, it's not easy. As you can say, he has said that it's commitment, right? While we are here to stand by you, you also need to put in the work. So, all right, we're so happy to have you here. Pleasure to have you here. And thank you so much for your presentation, Abdugani. All right. Okay, thank you. Up next, we have the last but not the least. I think the bell of our presentation this evening. Hi, Adela. How are you doing?
Hello.
We cannot hear you clearly. Okay.
Hello,
I'm not quite sure.
Belinda.
Yes,
Hello, everyone.
yes.
I'm pleased
Hi.
Good evening.
All right, I'm going to spotlight you now so that you can just start presenting. You can turn on your camera. All right, amazing. Hi, Adela. The floor is yours. You have 10 minutes so that, yeah. All right, your screen has started sharing.
So,
oh, your slides are so beautiful. Please carry on. Please carry on.
Good evening.
If,
it's to be
okay.
Here, and kudos to
sorry to interrupt you. We're still struggling to hear you. If you're using an audio device, you might want to disconnect the audio device, like AirPods, mic, or something like that.
Good evening. It's a pleasure
Yes.
to be here. Thank you for having me. My name is Patoki Adiola. I'm a data analyst, and I'm skilled in SQL, Excel, Power BI, Tableau, Microsoft Fabric. And I joined 10Alytics program in February, and it's been a game changer for me. Prior to joining 10Alytics program, yes, I had worked with data, but I worked with data as an ignorant data analyst. So work would take me, say, 10 minutes. I usually do it in about, say, 3 months. I mostly do things manually. But since joining the organization and being trained, I've moved from 0 to hero, so to say, and my confidence has grown from 0 to 100. So this evening, I will be talking on employee success analytics at NextGen Corporation. So this was an analysis I did for an organization called NextGen Corporation. So the organization is a growing technology company focused on developing innovative solutions in the software and hardware spaces. The company prides itself on attracting top talents and maintaining high employee satisfaction to drive growth. However, here is the but. There are increasing concerns regarding employee turnover. So employee turnover is basically, okay, yeah, they are leaving the organization. Oga, I want to leave the organization today. Another one is leaving tomorrow. So there are also concerns on the performance variability, like some departments are being productive while others are not meeting up to expectations. and salary disparities within departments. We know as analysts, we know as individuals, one of the reasons why we work is to earn. Yes, we love our job then, but one of the motivating factors is to have money, to earn well and be paid at the right time. But yeah, as this organization, Next Gen Corp is a growing technology company, is probably a company that is being funded by international agencies, so it's got investors, it's got its own board, which are increasing concerns, employee turnover, performance variability, and salary disparities. So as an analyst, I haven't looked at the problem statements. I was able to, come up with this aim. So what I'll do is to identify trends and pattern in employee retention and turnover. So this is basically saying, okay, employees are leaving. So how do we retain top talent? We can't keep training top talent. We can't keep training talent and have them leave the organization. It's basically working and having another person hit, which is not very good. Then also to track and evaluate performance across different departments to assess relationship between salary and performance. So let's say I'm working well, then I need to earn well. I can't work well, and at the end of the day, I'm underpaid. That's not good. So as we dig deep into this data, we'll see what's happening with the organization. So what I did in order not to pause and considering the time limits, I was able to come up with quick insights. So we looked at the statistics of employees that has left the company. So like the count of employees that has left the company so far. And we have that 60 employees have left the company. Imagine having an organization or having an organization and you have about 250 people in the organization and you have 60 staff. So considering that this 60 staff might leave from different departments, might be at different departments, say finance, say HR, say data units and the likes, and you have 60 of them leave the organization, you know what impact that means, you know how impactful that might be in a negative way. So I also consider the average salary of employee earning less than 80,000. So the average salary is 80,000. So the employees earning less than 80,000. So basically, there are some employees in this organization, Next Gen, earning 80,000. While some are earning 80,000, some other persons are earning 64,000 plus. So what that means is it's not about the work, it's not about the title, and there's variety, there's a variability in salary earnings, and which is not good, which might be one of the reasons why some of the employees are leaving. Then we also considered employees earning, which is employees earning above 80,000. We're able to see that 26 employees are earning above 80,000. So this might be the favorite of the bosses. Who knows? It might also be for different reasons, probably their performance, maybe they have performed other staffs as well. Then we looked at the total employee count as well, which is very key. As analysts, you see, when working with data, it's very important to have quick data. You can call it quick fact, you can call it quick insight. So something like something that is catchy to the eye, like just give brief details of what's happening in the data. Some decision makers might not have the time to start flipping through pages of slides or PDFs. So this quick insight give them insights, like briefing into what's happening in the company and what they need to know. So we also looked at the headcount by department, and we can see it. Yeah, the sales department has the most employees, and on an average, an employee spend over 5 years in the organization. And if you look at it, I think that's still a fair one. But yeah, in some other organization, we have some employees that stay over 20 years in the organization and say, okay, the culture just fits me. I think I love it here, and that's why I don't want to leave. I might just retire here, while some are living in over 5 years. So yeah, what I did was to consider the salary analysis. We looked at the average salary by job title, and we can see that we have about 5 departments. We have five roles. We have sales manager, we have the engineer, we have the marketing specialist, the sales representative, HR specialist. So before I proceed, this data that I'm talking about was done on SQL. So what is SQL? SQL is called structured query language. So SQL is good, is very nice, is used to manipulate and query database, is used for transforming data, is used for querying, is used for data definition. So initially, when I started this journey, I didn't know what SQL was. I didn't know most of these tools. And I just had basic knowledge of Excel, not the advanced one. I couldn't even build a dashboard on Excel. But now I have other projects I've done using other tools as well. But I decided to just present on this SQL because it stands out for me. You know, it's using SQL to analyze data, especially the data that speak more volume, that speak into what's happening in an organization in terms of employee motivation, in terms of salary, in terms of employee retention, which I believe is key. So here we can see that the sales representative earn more than sales manager, which is a sign of misaligned pay structure. And also why the marketing specialist remains the lowest paid despite driving brand value. So pay doesn't always match titles. We know that in major companies, marketers are like the go-to people. You know, marketers are ought to earn more than, oftentimes marketers earn more than other employees or other departments because they're like driving the sales of the company, pushing the organization out there to get more clients, to push what the sales, the product of the organization, to attract more clients, and also for retainership as well. But imagine having a tech company that might have products and services, you know, new product that needs to be pushed out into the market, and you are paying your marketers less. What does that tell you? If you were the marketers, would you be happy to come to work? We can just ask ourselves. You will answer the question later. So we also considered performance correlation with salary across department, and we can see that here also performance does not correlate with the earnings of employees. Considering the department, marketing delivers the highest performance, like the scenario that I just gave, while maintaining the lowest average salary, making it the most cost-effective department. So yeah, if you are trying to cut costs and you are trying to make every department to be prudent, and you are paying some other departments more than this one, I think it needs to be reevaluated. So also HR has the highest salaries, but only mid-level performance. So it's basically saying the HR department, the HR personnel are well paid, but then doing the barest minimum. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show my PG admin. So PG admin is an interface for connecting with the Postgres server. So my queries was done on Postgres. So Postgres SQL. So Postgres SQL is an open source database also for querying data, also for querying data and developing tables. So tables in terms of having the rows, having the columns, and also for analyzing data as well. So I'm going to show you how I was able to come about this analysis. So what you are just saying is the outcome. You need to see what happened in the background, how I was able to come about this. So I will just briefly, I think I'm sharing one screen, so I will just share my entire screen. Yeah. So first, for anyone that hears Postgres, that here's my SQL, that here's SQL. I'm sure your heart will be beating. Look, what's happening here? SQL. I don't know. So it's that word SQL, structured query language. It's like the high level language, and I my brain can't take it. Brother and sisters, your brain can take it. It's no big deal. I had no knowledge of SQL. It's called SQL. For some of us, we call it SQL, but normally it's called SQL. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what select statement is before I show you how I was able to come up with the salary analysis and some other analysis that I'll still show you. It's nothing much, and I'm not going to take your time. So usually if you want to act in this database that I'm working with a database that I've already, so this is my database. I'm going to show you. So this is my database. It's called GenZen Next Gen database. So if you want to work on Postgres, don't forget that pgadmin is the interface that I'm using. It's just like, yes, it's the interface I'm using that is connecting with my Postgres server. And in this Postgres, I'm working with the Next Gen database. So a database is like a container. Is a container you can, so let's say we have a container and that contains related data that's in terms of rows and column, in terms of schema. So what are schemas? So schemas are the databases and the likes that contains indexes. So what are indexes? So that's what makes your query to run faster and helps you to have an output as soon as possible. So when I show you what I'm talking about, you'll be able to understand. I don't mean to disturb you with much of these big words. So I talked about that in a database is like a container. So it's like a pot that you get to put your oil, your water, your rice, your seasonings. Do you understand? Inside that pot, it can contain so many things. So this is your pot, the Next Gen database. And in it, we have the schema. Here is the schema. We have the tables. So that's the output we'll be seeing. We have the indexes. So that's what makes your queries run faster. So I will go back to my query tool. So when you are working in a database, you have a query tool. So query tool is like the environment where you run your query. It's the environment where you run your query. Right now, I want to show you what select statement is. What is select statement? So in this database, I have six tables. So because we are considering employee analytics, we are looking at we have employee table. So that's talking about giving me the information on employees of the organization. We have the departments. There are different departments. We have the salary breakdown. We have the turnover. So the ones that will go and meet HR, say, I want to resign. Okay, what's your name? This. You understand? That's the turnover table that contains the information of staff that have left the organization. So here I want to ask, okay, query to SQL. Now let me know give me information about the employees of the organization of Next Gen. So say select. That's you use your select statement. It's called select star, because you want to know all. So star, instead of typing all here, so you say select star from, you reference the table, because I want to know the total number of employees in the organization from employee. Then you use your semicolon. You can, because I have a couple of queries on this page, on this tool environment, that's why I'm going to highlight it. Usually, if there are no other ones, I can just leave it and that. But then, because I want to create a new page, I can just show you this and say Celesta. You see, yeah, I'm not going to highlight it. Celesta from employee. Then you run it. So if you want to execute the query, This is it. So usually it's saying employee does not exist. This employee does not have an S. So whenever you type a wrong query on SQL, if you look at the data output, the messages is given, it's going to tell you where the issue is, telling you this is line 1. So this is line 1. So let's start from employees. It's telling you that the table name that you reference does not exist. So you should check. You
Wow.
can see. You just brought
Well
it.
done. Well done. Well done,
Yeah.
Adela. All
Thank
right.
you.
So are you about to wrap up? Are you about
Yes, I'm
to?
about to wrap up. So
Okay.
I'm going to take you back to the slides as well. So just to continue. New share, I'm going to continue with the share. So yeah, we looked at the major reason why employees are leaving, and we looked at some of these employees, they left for career growth. Some found another job, some for personal reasons, and some retired. So then also we considered the turnover rate by department. We can see that in the marketing department, we have 23 employees that left the organization. Engineering is giving the count. So as analysts, you use the right word. If it's the count basically means 1, 2, 3. So if it's the sum, like giving, like adding values together. So here we are having the count of employees that have left each department, and here you can see that marketing has the majority of employees that left the organization because one, they are not being motivated. They are doing the most work, and yet the payment does not equivalent their effort. So basically, there is no motivation. So overall insight like I gave the organization was okay. Employees have left for various reasons, for personal, professional, and financial motivation. However, as an organization, you can't keep underpaying people and expect them to give the best. So if you want them to work well, then you should pay them well, because make output, make it equivalent with input. So input in sense that, okay, your own input, salary, motivation, my own output as my experience, my skill I'm bringing on board just to make the organization better. So if you have CEOs in this meeting, please pay your employees well and ensure that it's not just about money. Ensure that they are well motivated, their well-being is okay, they are mentally sound, and there is no preference for a department above other department. So basically,
All right.
this feedback was well taken. Thank you.
All right. Well done. Well done. Well done, Adela. I am happy. Like, your slides are so pretty to start with. Also, so many codes, and you were able to extract, like, okay, this is all these plenty codes we wrote. This is the aim. This is everything that we're trying to say. And that was really, really amazing. Well done.
Thank you.
Everybody's asking, okay, now which one do I choose? Because everybody has had such wonderful presentations. So hi Adiola, just ask a quick question. So prior to becoming a data analyst here at 10Alytics, so what were you doing, so that like people that probably don't have the same experience or something? So prior to becoming a data analyst, you were...
So for me, prior to becoming a data analyst at 10Alytics, I was also an analyst. But you know, we used to say a low-level analyst. Now,
Wow.
I'm an high-level analyst. I know my worth. When I enter a room, when I speak data, then you keep quiet. You will be interested in what I want to say. I speak inside. I show you how it works. Then I was basically working manually and wasting time and resources. But now I can expedite processes and still give you much output. So I had no knowledge of majority of the tools that I was being taught. I didn't know Power BI. I tried working on it before years ago, but then I got stuck. There was no one to hold my hand. You see, best decision I've ever made in my life after decision about my my relationship regard is joining 10Alytics, and I'm not capping. Please note, I was not paid for advertisement. This has helped my confidence. When I enter
Wow.
a room, usually when I see the post I post on LinkedIn, now I want to be teaching people, doing series on SQL. You know, people now reach out to me to say, come, please help me. I want you to be my growth analyst.
Wow, that's
Like
just really amazing.
right
Wow.
now, 24 hours is not enough for me to execute my tasks. And all thanks to 10Alytics. 10Alytics,
Right.
I can't thank you enough. Anyone that is
All
still
right.
doubting, please don't shortchange yourself.
All right. Pleasure to have you here, Adiola. And everyone has heard again, like Adiola said, this is not paid advertisements, right? We just called in people like, oh, okay, are you ready? Do you want to showcase what you want to do? So I see a couple of questions. My colleague Priscilla is here. Hi, Priscilla.
Yes, hi, Oyindamola. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can hear you and I can see you.
All right, thank you very much. So I'll just pick it up from here. Thank you so much for joining in, Adiola. Thank you, Michael, and thank you, Gani. You felt like I was learning, absolutely. Thank you so much. I enjoyed myself. You know, Adiola was almost teaching us right from the very scratch, and this is what you get with 10Alytics. So just so I can feel the pulse of people in the house, if you had a good time listening to Michael, listening to Adiola, and listening to Gani, please leave a yes in the chat. I've had a good time, but I don't know about you. So if you've had a good time so far, please leave a yes in the chat. Absolutely. Sharon says yes. Chiwendu says yes. Oyindamola, absolutely. Adiola, absolutely. All right. So let's get into the main business of today, right? So while we're here, basically. So you've heard you've heard Adiola, you've heard Adiola, you have your hand up. Do you want to say something? Okay, so just give me a minute to ask you to unmute because I see your hand up. All right. So I'm asking you to unmute now. You can unmute your mic.
Yes, I just wanted to chip this in. Before I
Okay.
joined the program, I didn't know how to work on presentation. My presentation skill was terrible. Guys, I'm not copying, please. Now
Wow.
I can probably get people to reach out to me for presentation and charge them. That's one of my presentation, and this is just the barest minimum because I did it in a hurry.
Wow,
Thank
that
you.
was really impressive. Thank you so much for sharing that, Adiola. So yes, back to what I was trying to say. So we're literally looking at projects that participants of 10Alytics have been able to work on in a couple of months after joining us. And I'm here to actually tell you the importance of project as beginners looking to transition into tech or as somebody with experience already. So Adiola had a low-level experience, right? I think Michael also had, it was a data collector and all of that. Right? And then they were able to work on projects and you can see how confident they are. So to you, either as a beginner or somebody with some level of knowledge already in the tech space, how will projects help you? Right? So this is why I'm here. And I'm going to share my screen and, we'll get into the main meat for today's session. Please, as soon as you can see my screen, kindly leave a yes in the chat. If you can see my screen clearly, please leave a yes in the chat so I know that you can see my screen clearly. Can anybody see my screen just yet? All right, thank you so much, Adewale and Adeola. All right, so I need somebody to ask me here in the chat, right? Just ask me. My name is Priscilla, right? Like Oyindamola rightly said, and I'll be taking over this part of the session. I see a couple of questions around what the cost of the training is and getting started as well. Not to worry, we'll get to the beat of it, right? Right now, I need you to ask me, tell me, just literally ask me to tell you the importance of projects. Just leave that in the chat. Just say, tell me the importance of projects, right? So Chinaka, I hope you can see my screen now. Hi, Chinaka, can you see my screen? Just leave a yes if you can see. All right, so somebody should ask me in the chat, what are the importances of projects, basically? Why are projects important? I need you to ask me that question in the chat before I go ahead. Exactly, so why projects? Why do you need to work on projects? So we're going to go into the details, right? So you see for yourself, right? The importance of projects, right? Now, just imagine, right, before I go into telling you stories and all of that, imagine that as a beginner, you're looking to transition into a career path that seems really technical. Take the data analytics or even tech, for an example. And the goal of transitioning is to actually get a job, right? But before you get to that part where you get a job, you first of all have to learn. Right, you have to learn first of all, and there are different approaches to learning, right? Just something around what Michael said earlier, right? Just to emphasize on the fact that projects would help you, gain understanding. Now, if I come to you, just imagine I come to you and tell you that, oh, Excel is a tool used by data analysts to analyze data. I tell you, oh, these are the functions and formulas in Excel and all of that. I'm using the data analytics or Excel as an example right now, right? So these are the tools and data used in Excel and all of that, and I don't show you any project, right? How would you expect to go on a job, and actually use Excel? Right? If you don't work at any project, if you barely have hands-on or practical experience, how do you intend to actually do the job? Now, bear in mind that the end goal of learning for you is to actually get a job. And what this goes to show you is that how you learn absolutely matters, right? How you learn, how you get started in a career path is absolutely crucial. Now, here at 10Alytics, we have what is called the project-based mode of learning. We teach by working on projects. We don't do theories because theories don't get you the job. The focus for us here at 10Alytics is to ensure that after learning with us, you are able to get a job, right? And at the point where you're interviewing for a role or trying to even get the job, recruiters would ask you, or they would need to see your CV, they would need to see experience. They would also give you some technical questions, right? You hear of things like technical interviews. So how do you let them know that, yes, I know how to do this thing. I know how to analyze data, right? I know how to do process mapping as a business analyst, right? I know how to do requirements gathering and the likes, if you've never done it before. Now, this is the importance of working on projects, right? So projects enable you to practicalize the concepts you have learned. So if you've learned any concept, you get to practicalize them using a project, real-world scenarios. You get to see the impact of these tools that you'll be learning. You get to see how you can use these tools to solve problems. So much so that at the point where you're speaking to recruiters, you're speaking from a place of confidence. Even if you've never worked as a business analyst before, even if you've never worked as a data analyst, but then when you're speaking with so much confidence because of the way you have learned. Now, you've learned by working on projects, okay? Now, it still ties down to my second point. As a beginner, working on projects is the only way you gain confidence in your skill. There's absolutely nowhere on this earth, that you'd gain confidence and just by theories. There's absolutely nowhere because you just have head knowledge, but you don't know how to practicalize them. So this is like one importance of working on projects. And then recruiters need to see that you have the experience. Bear in mind that the whole point of getting into tech is for you to get a job. We all like tech money, right? And to get a job, you go through the interview phase, right? And recruiters don't want somebody to come and just dilly-dally around their project and all of that. They need to see that this person has done this thing before, and then they can do it for me now. They can deliver value. And the only way you get to show any recruiter, see, if I was a recruiter and you come to me, telling me that, oh, I'm a project manager, a data engineer, and all of that, right? I would want to see, I have like a project management opening or a job for you. Okay. I think this is feedback. Hi, Ubong. I think your mic is on mute. Just give me a minute to quickly take care of that. All right, thank you. So as I was saying, if I was a recruiter and you come to me and tell me, oh yes, I have like 3 years of experience as a data engineer and all of that, I see your CV and all of that. There's just somewhere I need to go to ascertain that you've done this thing before, right? You've been a data engineer, you've worked in a couple of projects, right? And you can still do it for me. Right? If you don't have projects to show to recruiters, there's absolutely no way they know that you have the much needed experience. Now, right here, I've, included a story of somebody called Victor, that took the data science program with 10Alytics. And right now, Victor has a job. Okay. Now, one thing we need to emphasize on is the importance of working in a project-based environment, solving real-world problems. And this is what Victor keyed into. So he learned in a project-based environment, and he was able to solve real-world problems. Now, one project he worked on was for a credit union, right? Helping them reduce non-performing loans by building a loan default prediction model. Right, this is what Victor built. Now tell me, as a recruiter, Victor comes to you and says, oh, I'm a data scientist. I know how to do a machine learning, to predict outcomes and all of that. I've worked for in a loan project before, that predicted people that were going to default on their loan. And I'm a banker. I'm recruiting for a bank. I've seen that Victor has worked on this type of project. What does that tell me literally? Victor has the much needed experience. Okay, Victor has the much needed experience that it will take to employ him. This is the benefit of project. And at the end of the day, now let me ask you a question quickly. Imagine that you have a car, that you want to fix, and then you have two mechanics. You have the option of going to two different mechanics. Now, the first mechanic tells you that, oh yeah, I have a certification from Harvard, I'm able to fix your car and all of that. And the second tells you, oh, this is my showroom, right? These are the cars I've been able to fix. Which of the mechanics are you likely to go to? The one that has, certifications from Harvard, or the one that has a showroom? Please leave that in the chat. Let me know what you think. If you have a car that is bad or faulty and you're looking to go fix it, and you have an option of choosing between two different engineers or mechanics, and the first one tells you that I have certification from Harvard, bring your car, I can fix it. And the second one says, I literally have a showroom. I've worked on a lot of cars. I've been able to solve the issues. Which of them are you likely to go for, right? Chiwendu says both of them. You need to pick one, absolutely, right? Matilda says showroom. Solomon says showroom, absolutely. I'd rather go for the person with experience. And this is what a portfolio is to a tech professional. A portfolio is more like your showroom. It is with your portfolio that you get to show your skills and your experience. And what do you have in the portfolio? Projects you've worked on. Right now, as a tech professional, as a beginner looking to transition into tech, you have to be very strategic about putting yourself out there, because there are a lot of people with the technical skills and all of that. And that is why you go on LinkedIn and you sort of feel overwhelmed. Oh, everybody's into tech and all of that. But that is not the case, because a lot of people just go on YouTube, go on different learning platforms and go get the theories. And then they have on their profiles that they're, data analyst, data scientist and the likes. But, tell them to show you their portfolio or projects they've worked on, and you won't even find anything. So how can you say that you are a data analyst, you are a project manager without any form of experience, without any form of project? Right now, having a portfolio literally showcases your skills and your experience. And right here on the slide, I've been able to include portfolios of people in data science, data analytics, business analysis, data engineering, cybersecurity, right? And what I want you to do is, right there on the chat, my colleague is putting the feedback form. So just go ahead, just go ahead to fill in the attendance form, and then you will get access to this slide when I'm done, right? So that you can take your time and go through the portfolio, and you get to see the project that our participants have worked on, right? Now, you want to work on projects. So where do you start from? Because that is the very beginning for every tech professional trying to get into tech, working on projects. You need to show to recruiters that, yes, I have this much needed experience. I can do the job. I've done it before, right? And you need to be very strategic about that, like I said. And one strategy you can put in place is working on projects. So you want to work on projects, you want to get into tech, you want to be able to show recruiters that you have the skills, you want to build your confidence and all of that. Where do you need to start from? Right, so you start from by identifying and choosing the right career path. Now, tech is very broad. There are tons and tons of different career paths in tech, but you absolutely today need to decide, okay, which career path is best for me? Which one suits my personality, which one suits my background, which one suits my interests or fits into my interests, right? And right here on the call, I'll help you, see which of the career path is the right fit for you. I know somebody left and said, oh, this, they seem similar, which one can I go for and all of that, right? Now, my promise to you is that by the end of this session, you will understand exactly the career paths that are in demand and which of them you can choose from, and also position yourself to get a job. Because Because remember, you know, getting into tech, the focus for you is to get a job, not to just learn. If the focus is to get a job, you know, you would literally plug into what we do here at 10Alytics, because we consider every single person looking to come learn from us, you know, as people looking to get jobs. Right. And this led us to putting different strategies in place that will ensure that as a teacher, as a carer, as a banker, as somebody without any experience, you are able to transition within a couple of months and you are able to get a job. Right? Like I said, tech is really broad. And for us here at 10Alytics, we're focused on just 8 career paths in tech. The reason why we're focused on 8 is very, very simple. We're a data-driven company, and before deciding on the 8 career paths that we're focused on, we needed to do what is called the job board analysis. Right? With the job board analysis, we're able to, you know, consult job platforms such as LinkedIn, Indeed, Glassdoor, and the likes, right? We took a look at job postings, you know, that are job postings with titles that are more in demand. Right? After we did our data analysis, we were able to combine a couple of tech programs. But then we also had criteria. If anybody is looking to come learn at 10Alytics, right? The first thing that should fit is ease of learning. Can they easily learn? Right? Regardless of your background, can you easily learn, be it a teacher, you know, be it with somebody, a nurse and a customer care representative and all of that? Can you easily get into any of these career paths? That is one thing we needed to be sure of. Right? The second is ease of transitioning. Ease of transitioning means that, you know, can you easily get a job after learning? Right? Bearing your background in mind, I'm a carer, you know, I've worked in sales, I'm a customer care representative, and all of that. Can you actually easily transition into tech after learning? Because it is one thing to learn, and it is another thing to transition. Transition means getting a job. So we needed to ensure that if you take any of the career paths or the programs that we have here at 10Alytics, you can easily get a job, and not just any kind of job, but one that pays you absolutely well. After doing all of this analysis, you know, and judging them with the criteria that we had in mind, we were able to come up with 8 career paths in tech. Right? And the first is business analysis. Then we have the agile project management or Scrum Master. We have data analytics. We have data science. We have data engineering, cybersecurity, financial analytics, as well as HR analytics. Right? These are the 8 career paths that we have here at 10Alytics. Okay. And right now, right here on this call, we're going to see which one suits your background, right? Which one suits or fits into your interest. And to do this, my colleague is going to be dropping the link to a quizzes platform. Now, what you get on this platform is you get to answer a couple of questions, you know, and you get to see which of the 8 career paths would, you know, suit you, right? So right there on the chat, my colleague will be sharing the link to My colleague will share the link to the quiz platform. I want you to just, I would walk you through how you can go about, you know, taking the quiz and how you can discover which of the career paths fit you. So I would also share the link on the chat so you get to see for yourself. But my colleague will be sharing it right away. Then I'll take my time and we'll do it together based on my interest, based on your interest, which career path is the best for you. Right? So iPhone says I suggested Agile Scrum. All right. So at the bottom of it, you see an option asking you to speak to a professional. So after taking it, you get to speak to a professional, right? But it basically suggested that based on your inputs. Right. But then if you're not very confident of the input, you'd have an option of speaking to a professional, you know, and then they'll take a look at your background, at your experience, and then they will decide on which program it is you should go for, you know, which career path suits you. But right now, I've just left the link to the quizzes platform. And if you're following me, please just leave a yes in the chat, because I'm about walking you through, you know, how you can decide or how you can see which of the career path is a best fit for you, right? So if you're following me, just leave a yes. All right. So let's get into it. Chinaka says yes. All right. So let's get into it. So as soon as you click on that link, if you're using your mobile device or your laptop, it will bring you here, right? And you get to see that. Not sure which career path suits your personality? Take this 3-minute quiz. So what you want to do is click on get started, right? And then you'd see this, just click on let's go. Okay, you get to fill in your first name. So I'm going to do it. You know, you can also do the same. And at the end of the day, you get to tell me which of the courses it recommended to you. Now, bear in mind that it's going to recommend a course based on your answers, right? Because it's going to ask you a couple of questions. So ensure that you're giving clear answers, right? So I'm putting in my first name and my last name as well. I'm also going to put in my phone number. You can also do the same on your end, right? Let's just do it together. All right, then I'm also going to put in my email address. So it's just going to ask you to put in your email address. Just do same and then check the box that says I would like to receive marketing communication and click on next. So it's going to ask you, how do you feel in group settings or team discussions? So it gives you 3 options and you get to pick, right? So for me, I thrive, I love engaging, leading, you know, or just connected. So if you're somebody that is selective, you really don't like talking to people so much, you know, you need to choose, I prefer to work solo or behind the scenes, right? But then if you just like a balance, right? I can speak to people, I also, you know, like to be by myself. Then you can also choose the second option. But for me, it's going to be the first, right? Now it would ask what best describes your current or most recent job, right? So you get to pick that as well. And then it gets to the next question. Which of these sounds most like you? Do you prefer working with data and finding patterns? Do you prefer solving problems with people and organizing teams? Do you love protecting systems or finding vulnerabilities? Do you love creating processes or workflow? Or you just want a job that pays well, even if it is hard? You don't mind the technicality. You just want something that will pay you. So just pick which of the options resonate with you. And then the next question is, how comfortable are you with tools like Excel, Google Sheets, or numbers in general? So how comfortable are you with numbers? How comfortable are you with Google Sheets or Excel, right? So you pick the one that best suits you. And then it goes to, what's your take on coding? Do you like to code, right? Or you'd rather manage tech teams, you don't want anything that has to do with coding, or you prefer logic puzzles over syntax. So for me, I love coding, right? So I'm going to pick that. Then it will ask you, what kind of work environment do you prefer? Do you prefer being in a strategy and decision-making role? Do you prefer to work independently, technical or data-focused work? You know, just pick anyone. And if you don't know yet, you can still choose that, right? Just pick I don't know yet, right? So for me, it's strategy and decision-making role. So it's going to ask you, what's most important to you right now? Is it job security? Is it landing a high-paying tech job? Is it remote work flexibility? Is it I want to lead teams and projects, or you're still figuring out your next step? So I'm just going to put remote work flexibility for me, and I'm going to click on next. Then it's going to ask you, what kind of impact do you want to make? So absolutely data insights for me. That it's to just ask you to pick any of the course that sounds most appealing to you. So I know that you might not have all the details of the course, but just pick the one based on how it sounds. So does business analysis sounds appealing to you? You can pick that, right? So for me, I'm just going to pick the ones that sound most appealing to me. If you're also confused, so many options, I'm confused, feel free to pick that, you know, and then you tap on this. And then it will, you know, show you the course for you. So for me, it is absolutely data science. I like to predict, you know, I like to have a mind of a detective to see what is likely to happen and all of that. So if you've taken your quiz, kindly let me know what course it suggests to you in the chat. So I'll be waiting for you to let me know what suggestions the quiz has given to you. But remember, it is based on your input, based on what you've answered. You know, that is how it will be decided, or that is how it will get to decide which course would suit you. So if anybody is done yet, please just leave which course would suit you right there in the chat so I get to see. Can I jump into data science as a beginner? Absolutely, right? So long as you're open to coding, you can absolutely jump into data science as a beginner. I mean, at the beginning of the session, we heard Oye Fikaye, somebody with finance background, but she was able to transition into data science. So our job is to teach you at 10Alytics, just have the interest, right? So iPhone, if you're open to coding, absolutely, you can jump into data science. So is that what is suggested to you? doesn't mean I've conquered data analyst as well. I'm also investigative. Well, so the way the 10Alytics program is structured, if you're taking the data science program, you're taking it right from the very beginning. And what this means is, the data science can do the job of a data analyst. So it just means that you're going to learn all of them. It doesn't necessarily mean that right now you have conquered data analysis. So Chiwendu says data engineering, beautiful. Linda says data engineering, but I enrolled to data analytics. Now you also want to consider, your level of interest in learning how to code, because there are programs that are really no code areas like the data analytics, the business analysis, the project management. So if the focus for you is on starting small, okay, let me just start with data analytics first. A couple of years down the line, I can transition. That is absolutely beautiful, right? So just starting with something that would give you very easy transitioning, get a job as a data analyst, and a couple of years, you upskill into being a data engineer. That works perfectly well also. But you need to decide, okay, do I want to get into coding at this point, right? Or I just want to start with something that would afford me the flexibility of starting easy. So that is dependent on you. But literally our job here at 10Alytics is to teach you. And bear in mind that this is tech. You're not stuck on one career path for a lifetime. Right. So the focus will be to get started, get a job, and then there's something called upskilling. Right. And with tech, you can absolutely do that. So is it just Chiwendu, iPhone, and Linda? Anybody else that has taken the quiz? But sometimes that their quiz isn't right. It has to align with your passion. Absolutely. That's why we have what is called the clarity sessions as well, right? So with the clarity sessions, you get to, you have a professional that would look into your background, get to see your experience, and then tell you categorically that you should go for this. But what the quiz suggests to you is based on your input, right? Based on what you've given to it, that is what it will suggest to you. So right now we're going to get into the skills. Right? So Chinaka says data analyst, that is what I got and that is what I want. Beautiful. So you're looking to go into data analytics, you're looking to go into data engineering, business analysis, project management, and the likes. What are the skills that will land you the job? Now, a lot of people, when they're about transitioning into tech, do you know what they do? They go right there on LinkedIn or they look at multiple job descriptions and then they say, okay, this job for a data analyst, it requires me to learn how to use Google Colab. It requires me to learn how to use this and that and that. And that is how they go learn. But you don't need to do that coming to 10Alytics because we already have a curriculum, that takes you right from the very scratch to the point where you're confident enough to apply to jobs. So we've already mapped out the skills that you need to learn. So we'll start with the business analysis, right? So you're looking to go into business analysis. What are the skills you need to pick up? What are the things that you need to learn? Right. So the business analyst, I'll give you like a brief intro of who a business analyst is. The business analyst is that professional that is in charge of processes in an organization. Now, in an organization, there are three important elements. We have the people, the technology, and the process. And you know what? The business analyst is in charge of the process, is in charge of making the process better. Now, come to think of it, say that you work for a company, that currently sells to 100 customers per month. They average 100 customers per month, and for them to be able to sell to 100 customers, they have a process in place. Now, they're really good at what they do. Their products are good, customer feedback really good. And then they started realizing, oh, our customer base is increasing. So they start getting 200, 250. Do you think that the process with which they were able to service 100 customers is still the same process with which they will be able to service 200? Absolutely not. So the business analyst is in charge of taking a look at the process and looking for ways to make it more efficient, looking for ways to make it better. So if the company is running a manual process, what the business analyst is looking at is how to automate that process, make it work without human interference. So you as the business analyst, if you're somebody that likes to communicate a whole lot, you're big on communication, the business analysis program is something that you should look into as well, right? Because with the business analysis, you get to, if you also like to take a look at things and you're asking, how can I make this better? If anything comes to your mind when you see something, it is, how can I make this better? The business analysis is something you want to consider. And regardless of your background, you'll be able to transition into the business analysis program. Now, what are the things you need to learn? going into business analysis. The first of them is Excel, Power BI, and SQL. Just the same way you saw Ganiyu, literally analyzing data using SQL. And you ask, what concerns a business analyst with data analytics or analyzing data? The truth is, in the process of trying to in a bid to optimize a process, sometimes you need to, go to the data to find out the areas for improvement. So one thing we've done here at 10Alytics is to equip you with a bit of data analytics skills as well, so that if you find yourself in a company that doesn't have a data analyst, you can do your job properly as a business analyst. So that is why at the beginning you saw that, somebody mentioned that the career path seems similar. That is not so actually. But what we've done here at 10Alytics is to ensure that the business analysts right here at 10Alytics, they're able to still analyze data. So after you get to learn Excel, Power BI, and SQL, you also need to learn what is called process mapping. So how do you understand a current process? How do you map the as-is process and then the to-be process? This is one of the core skills of a business analyst. Then you have project initiation, planning, as well as Agile and Scrum for projects. Now, as a business analyst, you get to recommend solutions. After fully understanding a process, looking for bottlenecks, loopholes, speaking to stakeholders and all of that, you would recommend a solution. And most of the times, the solutions you're recommending, they are projects that the company has to embark on. So if there's no project manager right there in the company, they're going to come to you. I mean, this was your idea. Can you man it? So one thing we've done here at 10Alytics is to equip you with project management skills as well. Then we have the software development lifecycle, the requirement fundamentals, elicitation, stakeholder analysis and engagement, as well as ChatGPT for business analysis. Now, if you're looking to go into business analysis, these are the things that you need to learn. So what are the tools and technologies? You get to use tools such as Lucidchat, Draw.io, Confluence, Jira, Trello, and the likes, right? So if you're looking to go into business analysis, this is absolutely what you need to focus on learning. And then how would you be learning here at 10Alytics? So here at 10Alytics, we have what is called the blended learning approach. We have the live classes, as you can see here, and we have the self-paced. Okay, so with the live classes, out of 4 Saturdays in a month, you only need to be in a live class for 2 out of those 4 Saturdays. In these 2 Saturdays, you get to be in class for 3 hours per Saturday. You get to work with your colleagues, you get to work with instructors and the likes, right? And then thinking about it, you figure that 2 Saturdays out of 4, is this actually enough? That is why we have the self-paced, okay? So with the self-paced, what you get is learning at your convenience. Now, nobody is deciding 3 hours for you. From Sunday through to Friday, you get to pick the time of the day that you want to learn. So you get to learn at your convenience, right? So this is what we call the blended learning approach, right? You work with a facilitator, you get to work on projects in class, and then you also get same in your self-paced, right? And then the learning timeline is for 8 months. So to become a business analyst, all you need to do is just register with 10Alytics and learn for 8 months. Now, the 8 months is split into 6 months of learning and 2 months of internship. This is what you get with 10Alytics, 6 months of immersive learning that will build your confidence so much so that before the 6 months is done with, you're applying to jobs, right? So this is what you get with the business analysis program. Let's talk about the Agile project management. Now, as the name implies, project management, right? So if you're big on, leading a team, getting a project work done and all of that, this is absolutely one career path that you need to look into, right? And here at 10Alytics, what are the things you need to learn? If you want to go into project management, you first of all have to understand the various project management methodologies and structure. So we have the Agile, we have the Waterfall, we have the Wagile, right? You get to learn all the various methodologies because, the methodology you're using on a project depends on the kind of project, right? And you need to have an idea of the various methodologies to decide on which one, the project needs. So you start from the very basics by learning all the different project management methodologies. Then you also get to learn project management skills and communication because you're leading a team. There's so much collaboration going. There's so much tracking of tasks and all of that. You need to learn how to communicate with people, right? That is one thing you get to learn. Then you get to learn the Agile and Scrum framework. right? So these are framework under the Agile methodologies, right? You get to understand the Scrum artifact, you know, the different Scrum and Agile practices. Then you get to work on project. Remember that every key learning area here, you're working on project while learning. You're not coming to learn theories here at 10Alytics because theories don't cut it. If there's anything you pick from today's session, it is the fact that theories don't cut it. You need to show to recruiters that you have the much needed experience, you have the skills, and to show them that you need projects. So every key thing you'll be learning here, you are learning by working on projects, right? Then you have, you know, Kanban boards for workflow management, Agile metrics and reporting. How do you tell the health of a project? Are we right on time? Are we behind schedule? How do you track deliverables? These are things that you get to learn right here in the Agile Project Management Program, right? Then you have leadership and real world application, Nexus Scaled Scrum. And at the end of the day, everything you've learned helps prepare you for the professional Scrum Master examination. So the learning pattern is still the same right here in the Project Management Program. You get to learn on Saturday, and you also get the self-paced. It is 8 months of learning, which involves 6 months of learning in class and then 2 months of internship. So we'll talk about the data engineering right now. Right, remember that this is high-level explanation. So if you're that person that likes to build things, right, the data engineering program, you know, might be suitable for you, right? So just imagine that the chairman of a bank wants to see, okay, which of our banking platforms, you know, do customers use the most? Which of the banking channels do customers use the most? Now, the banking channels will have ATMs, banking websites, you know, applications, POS, and all of that. Each of these channels have data stored somewhere, right? The database, right? Each of these channels have data stored somewhere, right? And for the chairman to be able to get answers to the question, the data analyst or the data scientist who is responsible for providing an answer to these questions needs data, all of the data stored in a central location. So the data engineer is just like your plumber, you know, that would connect all the taps to a central source, you know, and then ensure that water flows in your apartment. So what the data engineer does is to build pipelines, right? To build databases that would pull data from multiple data sources into a central location, you know, so that the data analyst and the data scientist will have data to work with. Right? So this is what the data engineer will do. So if you're into the design kind of thing, you want to construct and all of that, this is absolutely one career path for you. So what are the things you need to learn, right? So first of all, remember we start from the very basics, introduction to data engineering. So what is data engineering basically? What is a database? What is a data warehouse? What is a data lake and all of that? The old ETL thing you've heard so far, extract, transform, load. What does this entail? So you get to learn from the very beginning. Then you learn structured query language. So with this, you're able to build your database. You're able to, you know, do your modeling, data modeling, and all of that. So you learn SQL right from the very beginning. So you see that Ganio, Adeola, and Michael, they all learned how to use SQL because that is what, you know, you use to query a database, or that is the language of a database. Now, the way the business analyst will use SQL is very different from how a data engineer will use SQL. But this doesn't take away the fact that right here at 10Alytics, you get to learn from the very beginning. Then you learn Python. Absolutely need to learn Python, right? Then you also get to learn Linux, how you can build custom ETL pipelines, Apache Spark, Apache Airflow, cloud engineering, version control, ChatGPT, and GitHub Copilot. Right now, these are the things you're looking to learn if you're looking to go into data engineering. And absolutely, the learning timeline is the same. So let's look at data analytics, right? The data analyst is the detective in the organization. Right? So if you're that person that likes to see, why is this thing working the way it's working, right? The data analytics program is one for you. You like to, you know, look at, data and then try to spot the trends and patterns, the data analytics is the good fit for you. What are the things you need to learn? You need to learn problem solving, you need to learn Excel, you need to learn SQL, you also need to learn Power BI, Tableau, data storytelling, ChatGPT, as well as Microsoft Fabric for analytics. Bear in mind that every key learning area you'll be learning, working on projects. Okay, now while the data analyst will perform two types of analytics. So as soon as the data analyst gets to the company, they're helping the company understand what happened and why it happened. Now, in technical terms, this would be your descriptive analytics and diagnostic analytics. The data scientist does what is called the predictive analytics. Right? So the data scientist will take it a step further to tell the company, okay, this is what happened, this is why it happened, and this is what is likely to happen in the future. If you've ever had to use Netflix or Spotify before, that is data science in play. So if you've used Netflix, you would see Netflix suggesting to you, would you like to see this movie? Now, the way they are able to do that is because they've taken a look at your previous trends. They've taken a look at previous movies and films that you've enjoyed watching, right? Say that you like films with Denzel Washington as the actor, as the lead actor. So the next movie they are, showing or suggesting to you will be a Denzel Washington film. This is the data model, the machine learning models, understanding the trends and patterns from your records and then predicting what it is you're likely to be interested in. This is data science in play, right? So to become a data scientist, there are things you need to learn. And the first of them is statistics, your mean, median, mode, your measures of central tendency, right? How can you use them to handle a dirty data, fill up missing values and the likes? Then you also learn how to forecast and predict using Microsoft Excel. Okay, I know that some of us don't even know that with Excel, you can do predictive analytics, right? But this is something you get to learn right here in the data science program. Then you have Tableau for data analytics, SQL, Python programming, exploratory data analysis, right? Machine learning, computer vision, GitHub for version control, ChatGPT and GitHub Copilot for coding, as well as Microsoft Fabric for analytics. These are the things that you're looking to learn if you want to transition into the data science career path. Then let's look at financial analysts, right? So financial analyst is a data analyst that is focused on financial data, right? They are just there in the company, helping the company, predict their financial performance. If an investor is looking to invest in two different companies, company A and company B, the financial analyst is in charge of telling the investor, okay, you should invest in this company, right? Because, after analyzing the financial statement, we're able to see that this company is more profitable compared to this company. So if you like finance, right, you like to deal with the companies, are we making profits? Are we making loss? What it is, how are we likely to perform in 5 years from now? The financial analytics program will be the best fit for you. What are the key learning areas? Absolutely. Problem solving. You have to learn how to approach problems as a financial analyst. Then you get to learn Excel, Power BI, SQL. Then you go into accounting fundamentals. Remember that the program here at 10Alytics is absolutely beginner friendly, right? Then you get to learn financial analysis, financial modeling, valuation, sensitivity and scenario analysis, as well as ChatGPT for analytics. Now, these are the things you need to focus on learning if you're looking to go into financial analytics. Let's look at HR analytics, right? So the HR analyst is a data analyst that is focused on, HR data, right? So if you like to manage talent in an organization and all of that, the HR analytics program will be your best fit, right? And like I said, if you take a look at my screen, the HR analyst is a data analyst that is focused on, HR data. So if you see 1 to 4, these are the tools that the data analyst will learn. Then you take it down into your core HR, duties, which are HR KPIs and performance evaluation, absenteeism and attrition metrics, compensation and pay pay equity analysis, collaboration and recruitment tracking automation, human resource management system, and ChatGPT for analytics. So these are the things you should look at learning if you're looking to go into HR analytics. So let's talk about cybersecurity. So if you want to go into cybersecurity, what are the things you need to learn? Now, a cybersecurity professional is more like a digital guard, and protecting the organization's system, their databases, and all of that from external attacks, right? From cyber threats. So what are the things you need to learn? Remember, all of this is right from the very scratch, and you're learning by working on projects. So you first of all get the different cybersecurity roles and technologies. Let's not forget to mention what our cybersecurity program gives to you is, 3 exciting career paths: SOC analysis, pen testing, as well as GRC. So you start by learning all the various roles in cybersecurity and the technologies, right? Then you also get to learn information security principles and risk management, introduction to network security, threats and vulnerabilities. Then you go to the SOC roles, the Security Operations Center roles, right? And the various responsibility, log analysis, network monitoring. Then you get to learn threat detection and response. Then you also get to learn incident response and threat intelligence lifecycle, open source intelligence gathering, malware analysis and threat actor profiling, introduction to penetration testing, vulnerability scanning and network reconnaissance, exploitation techniques. Then you move to GRC, governance, risk, and compliance. So you get to learn the various governance and compliance frameworks. You also get to do compliance audits and policy development, then security awareness, training, and reporting. So these are the things that you need to focus on if you're looking to transition into any of the roles, right? So these are the key learning areas. And bear in mind that every single area here, you are learning by working on projects, because in all honesty, it is projects that will give you the much needed experience. It is with projects that you're able to show to the recruiter that, yes, I have this skill, I've done it before, and I can do it again, right? So these are the key learning areas right here. Okay, so after learning, what next? Remember, let's not lose sight of the goal, of the fact that the goal is to get a job after learning, right? It is not just enough to learn. It is not enough to go on YouTube, go on Coursera, to go learn the skills. After learning, what next? The point is to get a job, right? And here at 10Alytics, we have a job equation formula. So you see all those key learning areas that we've just spoken about, those are called the technical skills. And according to our job equation formula, to get a job, you need the technical skills and you need what is called the employability skills. You merge both together and you're able to get a job. Right? Now, let's go into the employability skills. So right here at 10Alytics, 2 months into your training program, you're starting out with us, 2 months into the training, we have what is called the CV review and revamp. And what we do is, if you're looking to go into any of the career path, your CV, has to be tailored to that career path. So we provide you with a standard CV format that will beat the applicant tracking system any day, anytime, and teach you how to tailor your experience according to that CV. The data analytics, the project management, and all of that, there are a couple of roles you can apply for, such that after the project management, you're not only stuck on looking for project management roles. You see roles such as agile coach. That is one role you can apply for. The project management role is one you can apply for. And at the point of application, you need to ensure that your CV is tailored to the job you're applying for. Because you see, every single job, has keyword that is peculiar to that job, keywords that the applicant tracking system will be on the lookout for. Right? And then if your CV is not tailored, it's just going to get sieved out. Your CV is going to get sieved out. So we teach you how to tailor your CV to every single application. And the beautiful part, right there on your CV, we encourage every single one of our participants to have that they are working for 10Alytics as consultants or contractors. The way you are confidently able to do that is just by the way you get to learn working on projects. Think about it. The way that mid-level staff are able to move up the ladder to senior roles and all of that It's by what? By the experience they've been able to gather. What gives them the experience? The projects they've worked on, the task that they've worked on. Now, that is how you're learning here at 10Alytics. You're learning by gaining experience. You're learning by working on projects, right? You're learning by, solving real world problems. And then you can confidently have on your CV that you've worked for 10Alytics as a business analyst, consultant, or a contractor because of the way you are learning. Because when you're applying to jobs, recruiters are big on experience. Do you have experience? They also want to see it right there on your CV. So if you have 10Alytics as your work experience, what we do is to provide you with a job description that summarizes all the projects you've worked on and their impacts. So you have that right there on your CV. So I hope you start to see the importance of working on projects, the importance of learning in a project-based environment, because this helps you with your CV. And any day, anytime, if a recruiter wakes you up and asks you a question regarding your CV, you are able to defend that, because you worked on your project. Right, you have the experience, the first-hand experience, right? And you're able to confidently say that, yes, these are like the experiences I was able to gather. I was able to build a dashboard that was able to track the performance of a company and all of that, right? So that is what you get here at 10Alytics, right? So you're learning as a beginner. First of all, you've learned, you've worked on projects, you have a portfolio. On your CV, you have a work experience. Tell me how you don't see yourself getting a job in a couple of months, because you have all what it takes. You've learned, confidently, you've worked on projects, you've gathered experience, and then your CV, you have a work experience, right? Then we have LinkedIn optimization. So if you heard Ganyu saying he's had a couple of interview offers, right on LinkedIn, just from LinkedIn. So for those of you that feel like tech is too saturated, you need to get that out of your head, because a lot of people feel like tech is too saturated, there are no jobs. Just take somebody like Ganiyu as an example, right? That is getting a couple of offers from LinkedIn, getting a couple of interviews. How is he able to achieve this? By having his LinkedIn profile well optimized. You say you're a cybersecurity professional. There's certain keywords that should be on your LinkedIn profile. Right? Your work experience has to be on your LinkedIn profile as well. You need to have a link to your project or your portfolio. So all of this is what we teach you, so much so that if a recruiter is looking to fill up a cybersecurity professional role in your environment and they search for, cybersecurity analyst, your name will pop up amongst the top search because your profile is very well optimized. This is what we're able to achieve with the LinkedIn optimization session. And this is absolutely intriguing and beautiful. Just think about this as a beginner. Right? Then we have navigating the job market. So you're applying to jobs. Where are these jobs? How do you even apply to these jobs? So you get taught this right here at 10Alytics. And then what we've been able to do is, apart from the regular job boards you have access to, your Glassdoor, Indeed, LinkedIn, and the like. So what we've been able to do is subscribe to premium job boards across the major economies, UK, US, and Canada. So much so that you have access to exclusive roles that you can apply to. And quite a couple of people have been able to get jobs, from these exclusive roles. We have visa sponsorship roles. If you're right there in the UK, we have remote roles, contract roles, just name it. All you have to do is just learn and come and apply to job. Easy peasy, exclusive role that is not available to every single person, right? Then we have interview preparation. So you've learned, you have an interview coming up and you're jittery. How do I even answer? If they ask me to introduce myself, how do I do that? How do I answer competency-based question? You don't need to worry about that. If you have an interview coming up, all you have to do is just book for a prep session and 10Alytics has you covered. So we'll do our research on the company, and we're able to preempt questions you're likely to get and prep you for the interview. Then we have reference letter. Remember that right there on your CV, you have 10Alytics as your work experience. Are we able to vouch for you? Because recruiters would see that, oh yes, this person has worked as a consultant or a contractor. Right? They would reach out for a recommendation letter and we're able to actually provide something compelling that tells of your experience, your attitude, and all of that, and will get you the job. Then we have on-the-job support, right? So as a beginner, you get a job as a data analyst and you have a task, right? But you literally don't know, a lot of our participants don't usually come back for this, but we have this as one of the offers, and it is open to everybody, right? Just in case you find a task that seems really daunting, right? You come back to 10Alytics for on-the-job support. Then we have weekly mentorship sessions where you have people that have walked the talk, people that have gotten jobs, global recruiters and all of that. They come back and tell you their experience. Then we have Upwork optimization. So right here, I've included a testimonial of Mr. Ini, that got a job. And I just want you to pay attention. I won't be reading out all of this. I just want you to pay attention to something here, right? Now, this is what Mr. Ini has to say, right? I'll start from here, basically. Why am I saying this here, right? I want to thank 10Alytics for bringing out the ginger in me, right? Besides the regularly well-organized and structured weekly classes, the other sessions, such as the mentorship sessions every Thursday, shaped my mind towards success. Though I have been in the IT industry for more than a decade, and I've done so many projects and training that should have catapulted me above where I was before now, I didn't know how to structure myself, optimize my CV for better opportunities. I hope you're beginning to see the importance of employability skills, because learning isn't just enough. So even with family and friends around Mr. Ini, it still couldn't show them his worth. I mean, you tell people that you're a data analyst, but they're not seeing the worth. How do they recommend you? And Mr. Ini says, and so they could not really help, right? So for Mr. Ini, the goal for him was not to become a CEO at where he works, but he landed it after the employing team saw his CV and the way he was interviewed. So I hope you get to see the beauty of the job equation formula, which says that the technical skills plus the employability skills. As a beginner, you cannot do away with the employability skills. And this is why we're right here at 10Alytics. Now, remember I said 6 months of learning, 2 months of internship. Now you get to intern with a leading tech company that is registered in London. Now, 10Alytics is registered right there in Canada. For those of us in Canada, that is really worried about Canadian experience. On your CV, you have a Canadian company already, right? For those of us in the UK, you're worried about UK-based experience. You're able to have a UK-based company called Amdari right there on your CV. Right? And tell me, isn't this beautiful? Okay, now it always seems impossible until it is done. Right here on my slide, I have tons and tons of testimonials for you, and we don't have the time to go through them right away. So what I want you to do is, as soon as you get the slide, take your time, go over the stories of people like yourself. Right here on my screen, you see Ikmat, from a stay-at-home mom in the UK to a data analyst with the NHS. This is somebody that was a complete beginner, right? But she was able to get a fully sponsored role with the NHS. So how did she get to that point? Remember learning, working on project portfolio employability skills, right? So we have here an 18-year-old that got a job as a data processor and analyst. So for those of you that feel like I'm too old, right? This is somebody that is actually 18-year-old. If an 18-year-old was able to learn, how much more you that is 45 or 50 and above, that has, a well-matured brain, and you're able to grasp concepts. This is an 18-year-old that was just out of school. He had not gotten to college and he was able to learn. It goes to tell you how beginner-friendly our programs here at 10Alytics are. Then we have Sharon. Sharon was a healthcare assistant and she was able to, move to a sponsorship role right there in the UK. She's working as a business data analyst. So this is Pavel, from a teacher in Cameroon to a data analyst in the US. I hope you're seeing yourself in success stories in a couple of months. We have strategy, learn, position, and apply, and you're good to go. So when you get my slide, you can go over all the beautiful testimonials, right? I've just left them here in the chat so you can go over. So let's talk about how you can get started today. I saw a couple of comments about, how can I get a job? Or how do I get started? How do I pay? And all of that. So this is what we're about to talk about today. So you get started by joining our next cohort, which starts on the 6th of September. right? So it's just a couple of days away. I think 2 days away, 6th of September, our cohort starts. So if you're looking to get started on that tech journey, now is the right time, and you have to plug into the cohort that starts next, right? And basically, what does it mean to register for a 10Alytics cohort? So the cost of the training program here at 10Alytics, all the beautiful stories, the experience, employability skills, is just $1,000 US, right? And we have a discount ongoing. So we have a 20% discount such that instead of $1,000, all you need is $800. Now, if you attended any masterclass 2-3 weeks prior, you'd see that the discount was actually at $750. But right now, it is now $800 because we had the 25% discount, where people were able to pay $750 US. But right now, if you take a look at my screen, this is called the standard discount, right? And it's just the 20% discount, and it will be closing, right? It was supposed to close on the 29th, but because this session was already booked, and we needed to make sure that you joining this session, you were going to take advantage of this, we're extending this, right? And this discount will be closing by tomorrow. Okay, remember that this discount applies to the September or the October cohort. So if you want to start in October, this also applies to you, right? If you're looking to start in September, which is on Saturday, this also applies to you, right? So what you want to do is right there on the chat, my colleague is sending a link to the payment platform. So you want to click on that platform so that you are able to secure a discounted slot. Remember that the discount will be closing tomorrow. It's 20% discount. What this means is you get to pay more. So if you don't want to pay $800 today, you'd have to pay $850. And to the juicy part, the most interesting part, right? You don't have to bother about paying the large chunk because we have what is called the installment payment. Right? So if you're looking to start in September or October, all you need is $160. That is all you need to get started. You can pay as many as 5 times. You can choose to pay 4 times. You can choose to pay 3 times, twice, or even once. You see how flexible this is. You want to start in September. You want to start in October. You just need $160 to get started, right? You get to pay that, and in 5 months, you'll be done with your payment. So right there in the chat, my colleague is putting the link to the payment platform, right? iPhone, I'm going to take everybody's question as soon as I'm done, showing you how you can go about securing a discounted slot. So what you want to do is just click on that link and it brings you here, right? Click on the link and it brings you, to the 10Alytics registration center, right? So I'm going to show you that now. So as soon as you click on it, you get to see the various courses right here at 10Alytics, right? The various courses you're interested in, be it data analytics, business analysis, and all of that. You see a list of them, right? And all you have to do is just pick on the one you're interested in. Okay, pick on the one that you are interested in. Okay, and then go about making payment. So as soon as you click on the link, it brings you here. So let's just wait for this to load up. It's just taking its time to load up, and it's going to load up shortly. Okay, just give this a moment to load up. But as soon as you click on it, it will bring you to the 10Alytics website. You get to see the different courses, and you pick any of them that you are interested in paying for. But just so I confirm, can everybody still hear me? Right? Can everybody, if you can still hear me, please leave a yes in the chat. I'll take everybody's question. Right? I'll take everybody's question. Just let me know you can hear me. All right. Thank you, Adela. Okay. Thank you, Del. So absolutely, this is just loading up. Let's just give this some time to load up. But as soon as you click on the link, it brings you here, and you get to see the various courses offered right here at 10Alytics. So if you want to go for data analytics, you want to go for project management, you want to go for business analysis, you want to go for data engineering, you get to see all of that right there in the chat. And all you have to click on is buy now. Right, so I intend to show you, just leave your questions in the chat, but then remember that the discount will be closing tomorrow, the 20% discount. And what you want to do is, secure a discounted slot, right? So just give me a minute to quickly, I don't know why that isn't loading up. Just give me a minute. Okay. Just give me a minute. If you have questions, please feel free to put them in the chat, so I can take your questions, right? So I'm going to share my screen again. I think we're good to go now. I'm going to share my screen and I'll literally show you how you can go about securing a discounted slot, okay? So I'm sharing my screen. I'm sure you see my screen now. As soon as you open the link, it brings you here. So you see the different courses. If you want to go for data analytics, business analysis, any one of them. Now I'm going to use the data analytics to show you. So just click on data analytics, right? Click on buy now, and this opens up. So all you have to do is just come here and click on enroll now. Right? So you're able to click on enroll now and you see 20% discount applied. So you either go for the September or the October, right? So the September class starts on Saturday and we can't wait to have you, right? So if you want to go for the September, click on September. If you want to go for October, you can click on that. Then you see the payment plans, right? So you can see that the cost of the training is $800 with the discount. And if you want to pay 5 times, all you need is $160 monthly. Right? If you want to go for the 4 monthly payment, all you need is $200 monthly, and in 4 months you'll be done. Right? If you want to go for the 3 monthly payment, all you need is $266.67, right? And in 3 months you'll be done. But if you're looking to pay twice or once, there's a further discount. So instead of $800, you get to pay $760. Right? I mean, it is just the effect of the net present value of money. But I'm going to use the 5 monthly installments as a case study. So click on 5 monthly installments and click on apply discount. Right? When you click on apply discount, it's just going to show you applying discount just a moment, and you see the breakdown. So all what you need, if you're looking to go for, if you're looking to go for the September cohort or the October cohort, is $160. So to show you the due date of your payment and the breakdown, check the box that says I confirm that my information is correct and you've read the terms and conditions, and click on pay now. And that is just all what you need to secure a discounted slot. Now, for those of us that are not quite sure on which of the training to go for, you can secure a slot, right? And then you have what is called a clarity session. Right? You come on the clarity session and we're able to take a look at your experience and then decide which of the program is best for you. But you need to take advantage of the discount before it ends. So right about now, I'll go ahead to, answer everybody's question in the chat. So I'm just going through the chat and I may search for your questions. I can see a couple of questions, right? And I'll take all of them. So iPhone is saying, do you recommend doing 2 courses simultaneously? Absolutely not, right? So you want to start with one, get a job first. The goal, you don't want to fall into the loop of endless learning. It is quite interesting. I mean, you hear data analytics, you hear data science. It is intriguing and interesting. But what you don't want to do is fall into the loop of endless learning. So what you want to do is start with one, the one you're most comfortable with, get a job after learning, and you can upskill. See, with tech, you're not stuck on one career path for a lifetime. There's always a place for upskilling. Right? So that is what you get. So iPhone does data engineering come first, then only data analyst, then business, data science and business is taking over from there. So it really depends on what the goal is for you. But you want to start with something that would afford you ease of transitioning. Something you have, transferable skills towards, right? And then you can always upskill, like I said. So I'm currently enrolled in CFA self-learning for 30 hours. Is it possible to do this course on one? Yeah, you can absolutely jump into this one. You get to learn with colleagues, you get to work on projects, and then you also get to learn self-paced. But now, how is it after new changes in UK? The salary threshold. So every single career path we have here, when you take a look at my slide, you see that the average salary is well over £41,000 right there in the UK. So iPhone, I hope I've been able to answer all of your questions. Just let me know in the chat. I don't think I can see any more questions. Are we clear on every single thing that I've said so far? Do we have any more questions? Is anybody securing their slot before it ends? Because we needed to wait for today's session before closing out on the 20% discount. So what you want to do is take advantage of the discount, before it completely ends. Are classes remotely, Martins? Yes, absolutely. So you get to learn virtually. You see the way you're in this meeting, speaking with me, interacting with me, and I'm just walking you through my presentation. That is how you get to learn. All you need to do is just join a class using your laptop. Right? So can I tell you the order to start? So what we'll do is we'll need to jump on a clarity call. Right? Should I start with data engineering? No, the order is usually, they're called the data specialists. You have data analysts, data scientists, and data engineers, right? So the data analysts are considered as the very young brothers. Then the data scientists, the elder brothers of the data analysts, and the data engineers, they're like the eldest brothers. So you have data analysts, data scientists, and data engineers, but it really depends on you and how you want to, get started. Right. So do I have any more questions? iPhone, have I been able to, answer that? Do we have any more questions right there in the chat before we call it a close to today's session? So I hope that we're able to secure a slot before it ends, because $50 is a lot, right? And why do you want to pay? Yeah. So why do you want to pay more when you can, actually pay less? Why do you want to pay $850 when you can pay $800? So what you want to do is secure a slot, and you're not burdened with you looking for the large chunk. You can pay in installment. So that being said, I take it that there are no more questions, and we can, bring the session to a close. I hope you enjoyed your time so far. If you enjoyed your time and you think that you got value for your time, please leave a yes in the chat, so I know that you enjoyed yourself and you absolutely got value for your time. So leave a yes in the chat if you've enjoyed yourself so far. iPhone says yes, absolutely. iPhone, I hope to see you in class. I don't know your full name, but I should be on the lookout for you if you just drop your full name. Caroline, yes, I've spoken to you before. Are you starting on Saturday, Caroline? Can you hear me? Are you starting on Saturday? I remember your name. Martin says yes. Okay, October, but you've been able to secure a slot, right? Have you been able to secure a slot, Caroline? Okay, no, yeah, you want to do so before the discount ends, Okay, your name is Daniel, so I'll just be on the lookout for you. Daniel, you're starting with data analytics or data science. Which one of them? Just looking forward to your response in the chat, Daniel. You're not sure. Okay, so what you want to do, okay, Caroline, I get you. So what you want to do is, that's good, data science. So what you want to do is just secure a slot, then come on the clarity call, and we'll have a proper conversation around which one suits your background. So that being said, I think we've come to the end of today's session, and I hope that we absolutely enjoyed ourselves. I enjoyed myself, I enjoyed speaking to people, that I'm seeing people that worked on projects and all of that. Tanwi says, I'm starting on Saturday, but I'm not available at 6 p.m. So Tanwi, by now you should have access to your program coordinator. So just shoot them a message, let them know that I'm not available, so they tell you, what is obtainable. Emmanuel says cybersecurity. So Emmanuel, you're registered for cybersecurity, right? Let me just see that in the chat. But meanwhile, we've come to the end of today's session. How do you know your coordinator? Have you gotten an email, or did you get an email containing your welcome kit, or are you in a WhatsApp group? Better still, I'm just going to take your name, Tawi. I'm going to take your name, and I'm going to reach out to the coordinator so that they can reach out to you, right? So I'll do that. I'm taking down your name now, right? So the coordinator will be reaching out to you, okay, and then helping resolve whatever issue you have. So we've come to the end of today's session. Thank you so much, everybody, for staying with me, and for speaking with me. I hope you enjoyed your time. Sincerely, I did enjoy my time speaking to you. So I'll call it a close here. I hope to see you in September, or I hope to see you in October. Just ensure that whatever it is you're doing, you're paying less and you're not paying more, so you can secure a slot soon as you can. So thank you very much, everybody, for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day. Cheers and bye for now.